Hi everyone and welcome back. So the first tutorial that I gave for Blackboard was how to change your menu options over here on the left, how to rename them, and how to reorganize them, and also, for our purposes, how to hide them from students while you're building your class. The second tutorial that I did was how to create content folders and some of the things that I recommend putting in there. You don't have to have them look like mine, but the suggestions are there for you in any case. So what we're going to do today is talk about how to add two different types of content to these content folders. So I'm going to click into my first folder here, Summary and Response Essays. And the first type of content I'm going to build is an item. An item is basically, it looks almost like a web page, sort of, that students can see. So everybody can see the item when they are in the class, unlike a file, which we'll also talk about, where they can just see the file title. And then they have to click on or download or open the file to get into the contents. So you go to Build Content and you click Create Item. I recommend putting an item at the top of every unit that you are building. And there are a couple of reasons for this. I like to communicate three things to students. Number one, what the unit is going to have in it. Number two, what learning outcome it's connected to. This kind of goes along with andragogical theory, just, adults like to know what they're learning and why. So I put that in some way. I don't always necessarily put, the student learning outcome is, but it'll have, the goals for that unit. And then the third thing here is going to be, so what they need to do in the unit, what goals I have for them, what I'd like them to learn from the unit. And then the third thing that I've added in particular for these courses, again, is having my contact information. So my contact information basically will be in every item because a lot of them are nervous about moving to a distance learning format. And I think that it's kind of important for them to have that information in as many places as they can. So I'm just going to call this Unit 1. You can see I've named something that before, Unit 1 Goals. And just for the sake of time, I didn't want to type all of this out, so I'm going to paste in what I already have. But there's a few things that I'm going to show you. If you're in the cohort with David Wolf, he'll show you how to make this a lot fancier. You can, again, Blackboard gives us way more than what we need, right? So you can add video, you can add pictures, you can have an attachment, you can have a YouTube video. There's a lot of options there. For our purposes and because of time, you may not want to get into all that. I think there might be a different video about how to add pictures and things like that that I've made previously. But just typing something in here, you can see what I've done. This unit is about summary and response essays. In this unit, we're going to discuss. This is tied to our learning outcomes, and then I have them copied here from the syllabus. For this unit, you will watch the following 1, 2, 3. Numbered really simply for them. After the lectures, please complete. And I don't know why I switched this here. I think my real one has this done a little bit differently. I think I have due April 4th, and then a colon, and then what's due. I kind of like that set up a little bit better. Due April 4th. It said in the folder that everything was due by 11:59. They will see that in the actual assignments as well. So the way that you set, and then I have, if you have any questions, you can email me at blah, blah, blah. So just to show you guys how to get bullets or how to get numbers, I'm going to go under here and let's say I want to just say, and do the following. And I have my colon, and then I want something numbered or bulleted. Up here at the top is a bullet list and then a number list. You can pick either one. I know I have both here because I wanted to show you both, but I would recommend being consistent with whichever one you have, just so it looks kind of the same. So number 1, do this. Essay, do this. Discussion, and I don't know. I don't do this online, but some people do. Peer review. There we go. Or if I wanted those in a bullet format, I can highlight them here and then go back up and click the bullets, bullet list, and now they're in bullet point form. Okay. And then I'll press submit just so you can kind of see what the item looks like. I'll show you the real one for my class in just a moment. Okay, so now we have Unit 1 goals, and then all of the goals for the class are there, plus a weird list that I just made at the bottom that doesn't have anything to do with the other stuff I pasted. So that's how that looks. They can see everything. Some of mine are longer, but they have to scroll quite a bit, especially if they're on their phone. So I recommend not making them too long. Here's my one from my Unit 5 for my college composition class. I kind of said, here are our goals for the class. Here are the items that are due. Here's how many points they are. Here are the lectures that you need to watch. And I wanted them to watch them in order that they appear, and then all of the rest of my assignments and YouTube videos and things like that are there. So that's sort of how it looks after you have more things in. What I'm going to show you now is how to add a file. This is basically the 2 types of content you'll likely have the most. I have another video about how to add a YouTube video. Right now, YouTube videos are not working in Blackboard, so I will show you in a different video how to add a web link if you want a YouTube video and it's not working. At any rate, this is an item. It looks different than a file. Now we're going to add a file. So essentially, this is not unlike browsing your computer and uploading a file through email. You find whatever one you want. Here I'm just going to have this argument paper assignment. Click open. Now let's say that in my class I haven't been using the terms argument paper. I've been using persuasive essay. I can rename this file so that students can understand. Now when they download it, it won't be named this necessarily, but persuasive essay assignment instructions. Okay. And I'm going to click submit. And wait for it to load. I'm going to go through and do another file and just show you guys one other aspect of this that I kind of forgot here. I'm going to guess this might time out. No, it didn't. Okay, good. All right, so now I have my unit goals and then I have my assignment instructions. You can see now there's a little thin dividing line between them. You can reorder things by dragging and dropping if you need to, but I always like to have the unit at the top and then my files. So let's say that one of my files is a PowerPoint and I want to make sure that the students actually look at my lecture notes. So I'm going to go in here to File again. And I'm going to go down to Select, Browse Computer, and let's see. Okay, so these are from my winter class. Here's one of my files, Child Development and Books. I'm going to open that. And maybe this time I want to call it the same thing. So here I'm going to have lecture notes, child development. Okay, that's good enough. So I have my title, I have my file. This time I'm going to click on a box down here called track number of views, and I'm going to click yes. And then I'm going to hit submit. That allows you to see who has actually looked at that content. Now, I will say that it doesn't promise who's read the content, but it does show who has looked at it or downloaded it. So you can even tell students, make sure you look at the lecture notes. I will be tracking views, or I'm going to be able to see who's downloaded it and who hasn't. So that you can just let them know, and then they don't feel like you're spying on them. But let them know that you're going to be doing that, and then you can track those views and see who has looked at the content and who has not. And then once this loads up, it's a little bit of a bigger file. I probably should have clicked something smaller. That's the other thing to know too about Blackboard. Sometimes it just takes patience. I have satellite internet at my home, so it just goes slower than it might at school. Okay. Well, the wheel of death has finally stopped. So now you'll see this assignment is in there that I just put in before. And these lecture notes are in there, and I've enabled statistics tracking. So I can see, there we go. So statistics tracking is on. I can view my statistics report. All I have to do is click on the little arrow and view statistics report. And I can see who has used it and who has not. And that is pretty much it. So again, to build an item, you go here, you create item, and you type everything that you need in the box that is provided for you. Or you can copy and paste some stuff. Don't make it too long, because if you do, they'll be scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. And then to add a file, you go to build content again, and you click create file, and then you just click wherever that file is on your computer and you upload it. I have a different video about how to make these ADA compliant. You can see right now that I have an accessibility score of medium. There are ways to fix that, and there's a separate video on that as well that you can watch later. But for right now, I would just say focus on getting the basics, looking at the items, looking at the files. And the next video, I'm going to show you how to do an assignment, and then we're going to look at discussion forums. So that's it. Again, I hope this helps, and if you need any further help, you can always email me. Thanks.